Hi, I'm Dr. Walter Matwychuk, and the purpose of today's video is to discuss with you the impact our model of the mind has upon us. Have you ever heard a person say something like, "He pushes my buttons"? Or another person might say, "I'm hardwired to respond this way due to my early upbringing." These statements betray a model of the mind that's inconsistent with rational emotive behavior therapy. In rational emotive behavior therapy, we encourage people to see that they have the ability to learn. And Ellis used to say that people are born and reared to think irrationally. So the model that we work under is that humans have the biological predisposition to think in crooked ways and disturb themselves when things don't go as they'd like. But the good news is that they also have the biological predisposition to think in healthy and adaptive ways, scientific ways, realistic ways, a mature way that enables them to solve problems. If anything's hardwired, it's our predisposition to think in rigid and extreme ways and our predisposition to think in flexible and non-extreme ways and to solve our problems. However, specific attitudes or specific ways of acting that we may have been brought up with are not, in our view, hardwired into us. People have choice, and the REBT model emphasizes that choice. In a similar fashion, when people say, "He pushed my buttons," we would argue that another person's mistreatment may very well have given you the opportunity to push your own buttons. That you have a choice in how you think about the other person's mistreatment and can choose to think in a healthy way and feel a healthy negative emotion like annoyance or displeasure, or to anger yourself. Choose an attitude that is dogmatic and assume the stance that people have to treat you nicely. So the REBT model encourages you to see that self-development or self-therapy is the process of cultivating the healthy side of us, which is biologically bred into us. The healthy side, the flexible side, is a fragile side of us. Nevertheless, it's there, and we can, through work and practice, cultivate it. On the other hand, the rigid side of us, the anti-scientific side of us, the dogmatic side of us, is also bred into us. However, we can limit its impact upon us, again, through work and practice. We can think about our thinking, come up with healthy attitudes towards our mistakes, towards the mistreatment of others, to the difficulties of life. And then we can rehearse these attitudes through work and practice and repetition. And we can begin to see how they produce better results emotionally and behaviorally, that there's evidence to support them, and that they're logical. I would encourage you to relinquish your grip on any mechanistic, deterministic model of the mind, and instead liberate yourself with a more hopeful model that REBT offers. See that you can choose to think in a way that is flexible and non-extreme, even if that flexible and non-extreme way of thinking was not modeled for you during your early formative years. That you can reformulate your way of thinking, if you will, and become better at adapting to adversity by holding flexible and non-extreme attitudes. For example, you could say, I really wish that my upbringing had been different, but it didn't have to be. That's a flexible attitude. And I'm going to work quite hard to teach myself how to change what I can change and accept what I can't. You can also hold the flexible attitude. I really wish other people would treat me nicely, but they don't have to, and I will unconditionally accept them when they don't. And finally, you can hold the flexible and non-extreme attitude. I wish life were easy, predictable, and secure, but it doesn't have to be. And when life is challenging, I'll be uncomfortable, and I'll do my best to cope with it, but I'll remind myself that the difficulties of life are not unbearable. I would also like to mention that you can attend on Saturdays my Saturday demonstration hour. It's at 9 a.m. Eastern, and I take a volunteer and I talk to them about some of these powerful, liberating ideas. It's a great way to learn REBT and see how it can be applied to a broad range of problems. It's at 9 a.m. Eastern in Philadelphia, which is 2 p.m. in the UK, 4 p.m. in Bucharest, 6:30 in India, 10 p.m. in Tokyo, and midnight Sunday morning in Australia. I hope you could attend on Saturday, and I look forward to seeing you then.